This is Will County's News Talk Sports 1340 WJOL. We bring you Money Talk, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. Today, we welcome into our WJOL studios Leah Avery. She's the marketing specialist with NuMark. Hi, Leah. How are you, young lady? You're great, right?
Yeah, I am.
Well, that's good. That is good. Today, we have a couple of other guests. We'll talk to them in just a couple of moments. Before we do that, though, we do want to remind you that at the end of the program, we're going to give away a $25 gift card, a Visa gift card, courtesy of NuMark Credit Union. So something our very intelligent guests will say today will create a question or will motivate me to come up with a trivia question. At the end of the program, I'll ask you, the WJL listening audience, what the answer to that question is that I ask. And if you're the first caller at 254-7300, you are going to win a Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Leah, what's new at NuMark? Anything exciting going on this time of year you want to let folks know about?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we are always doing exciting things in our branches. We want you guys to stop in. We are collecting donations for Wreaths Across America in our branches, and we'll talk a little bit about that further into the show. But we are just really excited to be paired with veterans and to do veteran-centric things in our branches. So more to come on that. You can check all of that out on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We have all of that there for you.
Good stuff. I know you're coming towards the tail end of another year, but you guys seem to be very busy at NuMark. A lot of new members.
Oh, yes, definitely, for sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, let's talk a lot about Wreaths Across America. We do this. I think this is probably our third or fourth year we've done this program, and it's such an incredible program that is in place. Wally Chlipala is here. He's a NuMark Credit Union volunteer board member. Hi, Wally.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning. How are you doing,
I'm doing great, thank you. And Ray Eich is here as well. He's also a volunteer board member with NuMark Credit Union. Hey, Ray.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for coming in, guys. Good to see you both again. It's a little tradition that we've started up here. So, Leah, let's get into Wally, we'll let you introduce yourself first. Tell us a little bit about your service first and foremost and some of the things you've been able to do.
Yeah, my name is Wally Chlipala. Excuse me. I was back in 1969. I was drafted by the United States.
Right. Got a little letter.
Yeah, I got a little letter in the mail with a token to get me to this place. But I spent 2 years in service in the Army, 69, 70, and 13 months of those were in Vietnam.
Okay.
And veterans have been a very, important part of our life.
Yeah. How did you deal with coming back home? What was life like for you back then?
Well, that was the 70s, and that was a lot of the anti-war part. So it was patriotism was not what it was then as it is now.
Sure.
It took an unfortunate event of 9/11 to repatriate America. It really did.
That's a really, really good point. Ray, tell everybody a little bit about your service. When did you serve and what branch of the military?
I was in the Army. I got drafted also in 69 and went to Vietnam in 70 and drove a 5,000-gallon tanker hauling jet fuel and was wounded, got a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, and I was in country for 10 months and 28 days.
Right down to the minute probably, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Did you realize? Well, you did realize at the time. So you're driving a tanker full of fuel. You were a target every time you went behind the wheel.
Definitely, yeah. And we didn't have a gun truck escort. We were on our own. So, but I owe my life to a Mack engine. It had enough power to pull me out once I got hit. So
really,
yeah, because it blew out so many tires. I just dropped from like 45 to 15 miles an hour.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. At what point, I don't know how many runs you made in those, nearly 11 months driving that thing. At what point did you stop worrying about it? Or did you worry about it every time you got behind the wheel?
I worried about it every time I got behind the wheel. Every time? Yeah. But you know what? We were young. We were 19 years old. You did what you were told. You didn't think about the danger. You really didn't. I've got buddies in St. Louis and Kewanee that I talk to frequently, and we just did what we were told. You didn't think about it.
Well, thank you both for your service. It's truly incredible. We were talking about this morning. We were in Shannon the other day at Forgotten War Memorial, and we're talking about 19 and 20-year-old kids, going off and fighting. And I know a lot of 19 and 20-year-olds because my kid's in that wheelhouse, and I don't want them fighting for us. I'm glad you guys were a very proud, strong generation. So thank you very much for your service. We truly Truly mean that. All right, Wally, you've been a volunteer board of director. What does that mean to be a volunteer board of director?
A volunteer board director, that means we are compensated zero, but the benefit is to the members. You really, our whole board is just dedicated to providing great member services, to making NuMark a fantastic organization to work for. I mean, Leah's part of the organization. They have a great team over there at NuMark, and many great stories of services to our members that had struggled at times, etc.
Sure.
And help them out, help them be. But as far as that, we do the governance. We meet monthly, and at other times we have committee meetings we have to attend. And to make sure that our strategic goals, short-term, long-term, are being met, et cetera, just like any other directors would do for an organization. But
sure.
We're all volunteers,
Right.
and just a coincidence, we're all veterans. Every one of us
That's
are
awesome.
veterans. It just happens to be, as just mentioned earlier, Leah. It is not a prerequisite, but it just happens to be.
Ray, what about you? What's it like being a board member for NuMark?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I like helping people out, and our management team and our employees, they are number one. I mean, we are a number one rated credit union, and we're in the top 200 in the United States. I mean, we're doing great, and we take care of our members. I just can't say enough about taking care of our members. We get a lot of feedback from our members on how well they were treated, how we helped them out with the financial situation, and that's a great feeling.
Yeah. How did you first get introduced to NuMark?
Well, actually, I was on Joliet District Credit Union with Wally, and we merged with NuMark. And at that time, my position at work, I would be on call for a week at 24 hours a day. So when we merged with NuMark, I knew there was going to be more training, and I wouldn't be able to make it, so I got off. But then Wally contacted me, probably eight years ago, maybe,
Yeah.
and said, "You want to get back on the board?" And I said, "Sure." So it worked out.
That's awesome. Leah, maybe you can kind of talk a little bit more about the board. How do you find guys like this, guys that will care and don't ask for anything in return?
We don't find them, they find us.
They find us,
They
okay?
find us, and we are just so happy to have you guys, to have everybody on the board making those decisions and keeping us on the right track and making sure that we are focused on the right things. Like, veterans most definitely need the support, need everything, and we want to be here to help. So most definitely we love you guys, all of you.
Very cool. Money Talk brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. All right, gentlemen and lady, let's get into the Wreaths Across America project. Wally, I'll start with you. What is this project? What does it mean?
Well, Wreaths Across America started back in 1997 by a guy named Merle Worcester. He had a wreath farm in Maine, and he had an abundance of surplus. He contacted the local government. He was a recipient back when he was 12 years old of a prize to go to Washington, D.C., and he visited Arlington. And so he wanted to donate his surplus wreaths to Arlington. Well, that went on for quite a few years, all the way into 2005. And in 2005, a picture was taken of the wreaths out at Arlington. You may have seen it on it. Well, it went viral. And all of a sudden, everybody wants, why can't we do what they're doing in Arlington? So today, Wreaths Across America has grown to 1.8 million wreaths last year, 2 million volunteers, nationwide. It's in all the states, overseas. It's just phenomenal what it has grown. The program, but their real mantra, what you want to say, is they want to remember, honor, and teach. Remember those who have served, honor those, with placing a wreath, and teach the younger generation about the freedoms,
Sure.
That we do enjoy. We really do enjoy many, many freedoms.
No doubt about that. Leah, let's talk a little bit about NuMark being involved in Wreaths Across America. You've been doing this for a long time. How did this all come about? Probably well before you were there.
Yeah, definitely well before I was there. But what ended up happening is that we were introduced to the program, and we said, hey, this is definitely a good thing to do. We've been doing it in our branches for about 9 years. We've been collecting donations from everyone. We've been doing it online. And we ourselves volunteer, too, to go out and place wreaths on the gravesites Last year, we raised over 20,000 wreaths, and $20,000, and we've sponsored over 4,800,000 wreaths.
That's awesome.
It is a phenomenal thing. Last year, we gave 426 wreaths. So we are constantly gathering everything that we can in our branches, and we're donating. We also have a veterans account that we're offering to our members. And if you are a veteran, even if you are a veteran now and you have a NuMark account, please call us because we can change it over. But you get some really cool things. And we do donate $10 to Wreaths Across America for every person who comes in, every veteran who comes in and opens that account. We have a NuMark cookbook coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. Really, really great stuff coming in there, but the proceeds from the cookbook will also go to the Wreaths Across America project. So we are doing everything that we can in our branches to make sure that we can give as much as we can to a great cause.
All right, so where did you get the recipes that are going in the cookbook?
We got the recipes from everyone. We asked our members, we asked our employees, we asked the board of directors. We got really, really, really great stuff. So be on the lookout for it. It'll be on sale in our branch.
Hey, Ray, you put any recipes in the book?
My wife did.
Did she really?
Yeah.
What did she put in?
I think she put in her walnut chews. Well, but yeah, anything that she makes is good. So,
what about you, Wally? You a chef?
No, I'm just a participant in a meal.
Well, that's good. So the value of the recipe book just grew with you not being anywhere near it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea to put somebody who doesn't know how to cook into a recipe. So the cookbook is coming soon. Will you please let us know, Leah, when it comes out?
Yes, most definitely.
I'm always looking for new recipes. I am. Ray, let's get into specifics now. When is the 2019 Wreaths Across America ceremony taking place?
It's December 14th at 11 a.m.
Okay.
I suggest you get there early. Parking is at a premium, but we always get a good crowd.
Okay, and that is at the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. How many different locations, Wally, are going to be taking place in this ceremony?
Yeah, well, I kind of touched on it earlier. What happened? It's about 1,600 across the country and overseas locations that will take place, and they're all coordinated with the Arlington time of 12 o'clock, which is it'd be 11 o'clock here.
Okay.
So if you're on the East Coast, it's 12. If you're on the West Coast, it'd be 8, or depending if you're in Hawaii or wherever. But it's all coordinated at the same time, and placements of the wreaths are followed by a small ceremony that recognizes all the branches of service. I mean, it really is a great ceremony. And one thing that's really nice about it, my first one was 2009. I went out there, and it was a small group, mostly us older guys around. Now you see many young families bringing their children, their grandchildren out, and
awesome.
in participating in it.
That's what it should be. And how many? I mean, you can't hit every marker, can you? Grave marker?
No, I think last year they had like 20,000 wreaths placed at Abraham Lincoln.
And they do that all that day?
Yes, by the volunteers that are out there, yes. There are grave-specific placements, and there's also just the general of people donating, and you just place them at random in random grave sites. But if you don't have an opportunity that day, because I believe they stay on the graves till the weekend of the Martin Luther King is when they were moved. Okay. So that was about a month.
About a month, yeah.
And if you really want to be impressed by the cemetery, is impressive anyway.
It is. It's unbelievable.
It is. But during the holiday season, to see all the wreaths out there, and now the amount of wreaths that have grown from in 2009, I think we placed 1,000. To where it is today, it really is an impressive sight. So just take an opportunity and drive the family out there.
Hey, Ray, how can people volunteer and show up there? I know you said 11 o'clock. Do they need to do anything beforehand to let folks know they're coming?
They can register online or just show up, and everybody's welcome. Okay. Last year, 18,000 wreaths were placed at the cemetery. 9,214 wreaths have been sponsored so far, and the coverage goal is 28,000. So we're at 33% of the goal right now. But, these wreaths, when you're talking that many wreaths, it's about maybe in an hour and a half, they're all placed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a system you guys have in place. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's awesome. They put so many wreaths per section.
Right.
They designate so many wreaths, except for the grave specific. They have to go where they're supposed to go.
Exactly.
So you get enough people in an hour and a half, you're done.
Ray, talk a little bit to that right now. If someone wants to make sure that their loved one that is buried at Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery has a wreath, how do they go about doing that?
Okay, there's 4 things they can do. They can visit wreathsacrossamerica.org. They can email Debbie Bennett at proudarmysys4@sbcglobal.net for a grave-specific form. They can visit their Facebook page at Abraham Lincoln Cemetery, or they can go to NuMark Credit Union online and get a form, or they can go to the branches and pick up a form.
Okay.
And I'd like to see some corporations or organizations get involved with this to make big donations so we can make our goal and get that 28,000 wreaths this year.
Absolutely.
It'd be nice.
How can, Wally, someone sponsor a wreath, and how much is it per wreath?
It's $15 per wreath. That's all it is. And on the form, you can donate as much as you want. There's a box to check for 4 wreaths, 5 weeks, 7, 10, whatever amount you want, because some people will give a grave specific, plus they'll give maybe 3 or 4 extra. They'll pay for 3 or 4 more extra wreaths at the same time.
Okay. And is there a website as well?
Yeah, there's wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Okay.
And they also have a radio program, or you can stream it, but I have a flip phone. I can't stream anything on that.
You do not have a flip phone.
Yes, I do.
Let's go. Let me see it. Ray, have you seen his flip phone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I had one up until about a year ago.
They still make those things, but I do have Touchstone at home. I don't have a dial rotary phone. Okay.
At home.
Yeah, but no, you can go to wreathsacrossamerica.org.
That's great.
And it really has a lot of information on that website.
All right. And that's where you can get all the news, right, throughout the course of the year?
Yes, you can.
All right. Good stuff. Very much. Very well appreciated. Much appreciated, guys. Again, this is the information. If you want more information, you can stop by NuMark and talk to anyone there. They have all the information. Right, Leah, about Wreaths Across America?
Yep, we'll have everything you need. So all you'd have to do is just come right on through our doors, go to our teller line, and talk to any person up there, and they'll be able to help you out. Or you can give us a call at 815-729-3211.
All right, gentlemen, again, Ray Eich and Wally Chlipala, thanks, guys, for coming in. Good seeing both of you.
You too, Scott.
You too,
All right,
Scotty.
good stuff. All right, here's our question today. Hopefully you were listening. So for every account a veteran opens up at NuMark Credit Union, $10 goes to Wreaths Across America. They're doing another fundraising effort at NuMark that the proceeds will go to Wreaths Across America as well. It's a brand new book that's coming out. What kind of book is it that Wally will not be in and Ray's wife will be in? 815-254-7300 is the phone number. If you know the answer to that question and you're the first caller on the Turk Furniture studio line, you will win a $25 Visa gift card courtesy of NuMark Credit Union.
Remember when Joliet Area Community Hospice began back in 1982? Remember when its Ladies Guild formed to help with fundraising? Remember when it opened Illinois' first freestanding not-for-profit hospice home in 2004? While the heart of hospice care will always be helping people remain in their homes, many others require 24-hour expert care. Joliet Area Community Hospice is expanding its inpatient unit and making renovations to its